Here's a little game of Would You Rather economics edition. Would you rather have a weak labor market or elevated inflation? You're probably thinking I'd rather not choose between either of these outcomes. But the Fed is about to cut interest rates this week for the second straight meeting, and this question is going to be central to the debate. So let's start with why the Fed has to make this decision. The Fed has a dual mandate: maintain stable prices and make sure that everybody who wants a job can find one. And lately, both things have been going wrong. Inflation has been moving further away from the Fed's target, while hiring has essentially flatlined. It's a complicated dilemma because what helps the labor market is bad for inflation, and vice versa. Lower interest rates could actually fuel more inflation, but keeping rates too high for too long could put people out of work. This is a debate that's probably been around as long as monetary policy itself. What should people care more about? Their income and their career prospects, or their purchasing power? That's why we categorize Fed officials into two groups. They're either hawks, who are more labor market focused, and doves, who are more worried about inflation. Former Fed Chair Ben Bernanke has actually argued that people probably hate inflation more because everybody feels it, whereas only a small percentage of the workforce is unemployed, even in recessions. But then there's economists like Claudia Sahm, who argues that weak labor markets are actually bad for everybody, not just the unemployed. When it's harder to find a job, it takes longer to find work. People are more likely to be stuck in jobs that they don't like. Their wages don't increase as much, and they have less bargaining power. If the Fed cuts interest rates as they're widely expected to this week, they're essentially going to be deciding for Americans which concern matters most, that the slowdown in the job market is what's demanding their attention. But as Fed Chair Jerome Powell has said, there is no risk-free path. And within the Fed itself, division over what to do next is growing.